very much. And now for something completely different. Liam Callanan is a sly writer, a writer who beckons you in the doorway with smiling, welcoming prose and then clobbers you with the frying pan of his concerns. He's a latter-day Muriel Spark or Walker Percy. His the lightest of touches, the most refined sense of the absurd. Some of the students here tonight have read his story, 140 Characters, which is not about 140 characters, but about 140 characters. 140 living, breathing, quirky individuals who coexist in 16 pages, the way Callanan's comedy coexists with his philosophy. And 140 Characters is about Twitter, too, of course, because Callanan's not above the low pun or pinned down by the high concept. In 140 Characters from his new collection, Listen, he invokes another sneaky, light-fingered writer, the great Grace Paley, who insists that the frothiest joke be whipped by mad concern for the human beings around us, who knows that stories matter, who writes about people with belief and politics because they too are subjects, ideas, concepts that throw off the drab cloakings of the generalization to reveal the strange beauty of our particular, carnal, vexing, delightful world. Liam Callanan's here tonight to celebrate the publication of the stories in Listen, but he's also a novelist who had the distinction of publishing The Cloud Atlas in 2004, the same year David Mitchell published his blockbuster novel, Cloud Atlas, a publishing coincidence that caused Callanan to write for The All a piece called Ways in Which the Movie Cloud Atlas Has Changed My Life. It's written in a list. Number 1, my website, cloudatlas.com, was hacked by Russians and blacklisted by Google. Number 2, my novel, The Cloud Atlas, zoomed to a triple-digit Amazon ranking without my having to email, as I did back when my first novel was published, a single parent, aunt, cousin, neighbor, classmate, ex-girlfriend, former teacher, or current student, and beg them to buy a book instead of waiting until the library gets a copy, as a friend promised he would. Number 3, I get a lot of email from loads more readers than I used to. Number 4, including one at 12:14 a.m. this week from someone who had accidentally checked my book out of the library and was still reading it. The Cloud Atlas, set in Alaska, concerns Japanese balloon bombs in World War II, shamanism, and priesthood. The New York Times called it equal parts history, memory, and vision quest. Publishers Weekly called his second novel, All Saints, luminous. All Saints is set in a milieu familiar to many in the audience, a Catholic high school, and concerns a protagonist whose restraint and sense of mystery could serve as metaphors for Callanan's approach to fiction. He writes essays, too, and has published in the slipperiest of slicks and the latest of e-zines, from Esquire and Slate to Fail Better and Cake Train. He's a man after our own hearts, all about literary community. He serves as executive producer of Poetry Everywhere, a series of animated films created by film students in collaboration with the Creative Writing Program and Doc UWM at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, where he's professor of English. Poetry Everywhere is a great model of collaborative art that celebrates poets like Martina Espada, Valerie Martinez, Cornelius Eady, and C.D. Wright. And it's lovely to be able to celebrate Liam Callanan tonight. So please welcome him very warmly.